120, 141. 141, ladies and gentlemen. 141 in the AM. About to go on and do our thing. Just wanted to let you know, just want to give you a quick chat before we go on. Quick vote. How many of you are absolutely sick to death about this business about Biden's health? Have we hit, seriously, have we hit maybe perhaps an intellectual impasse? Have we just lost our minds? Have we seriously, honest to God, ever thought to ourselves, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Why is this the only thing that we're talking about? There's you are, Frank's there, everybody's there. I'm looking up, I still can't, I'm looking up at, I'm in this room when I see Fox News. Patrick, Bet, David. Have you noticed how Fox is now pooling or going into and taking people from our world? And you find out these people are really not that bright. A lot of these people really, they're not that bright. Maybe if they've been on for such a long time, you realize, I don't think they know what's going on. I don't think they really know what's going on. I don't think they understand what's going on. Call me wacky. I don't think they understand what is going on here. Ladies and germs, this is insanity. So the question I have, and the question I want to ask you and everybody else is, when do you think we lost our imagination? At what point in our lives? At what point do you think we said, you know, we've lost our mind here? It is absolute. Oh, look, from Germany. Marinko from Germany. God, isn't that great? I don't know why that impresses me so much. That's the part that gets me. See, you are so much smarter than most people. There are different groups of people. You have to understand this, and I think you know this. There are different groups of people who find themselves, interestingly, in different groups of awareness. And a lot of these people, believe it or not, have absolutely no idea as to what the hell they're talking about. They have no idea as to what's interesting, what's not interesting. They just keep repeating this. It's like it's a runaway train. And it's the same thing over and over. And I don't think anybody, and I know what happens. It was kind of like a news director or something years ago. And the news director would kind of, the news director would tell people, now listen, go out there and you know, talk about this. They'd be in the newsroom and they'd look up at the competition and say, well, we got to be covering this Biden news story. Say, but it's boring. There's, you know, news. Where does the word news come from? Where? And there are these oldies but goodies things which drive me absolutely nuts. It's the sense that we have to talk about this for reasons I will never understand. It drives me crazy. And what I'm trying to tell you is that we live in a world, listen to me carefully, where nobody has the guts to say, that's not interesting anymore. Or there are other things to be talking about. But they don't do it. This is why people hate the news. And this is why some, and I say this with all due respect, how some folks in the news biz are the most absolutely undifferentiated. There should be some kind of a minimal class or reference as to what the hell's going on in this country. I mean it. I mean it sincerely. Anyway. I'm talking nonsense. You know why? Because I feel this sense of frustration. And I always get mad. I always feel like, our group, that we know more of what's going on than the rest of the people. See, the worst thing you'll ever say is, look at this. I used to enjoy various magazines, but they are all hooked into climate change. I hope that's over with. See, this is the stuff which I want to talk about, which is so boring. See, being bored is a wonderful thing. Being bored is what I want to talk about. And being bored is a wonderful thing because it causes you to move on. But I want to ask this one question, and this is really critical. This is my favorite question, and this is something I want to ask my dear friend. What is the derivation of the word news, as in TV and broadcast news? Some people think it means northeast, west, and south. That's not true. The myth is northeast, west, and south, suggesting whatever. The true news comes from the word new, N-E-W, which is the Middle English. It referred to the phrase news, N-E-W-E-S, to refer to things new or happening, essentially new information. Over time, it evolved into the word news. Ryan says, should we not be happy that the Democrats are falling over each other because of Tapper's books? They think it's damaging. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if these, I don't know if this iteration of this makes any sense. I have no idea. The usage matured, by the way, and expanded with the invention of the printing press and then centuries later news. Here's something interesting. In several other languages, this is more obvious. For example, in French, les nouvelles, actually nouvelles, literally means the new things or the news. So there's no northeast west. But here is the thing. The Democrats are not learning anything. They're sitting back, okay? The Republicans, I am telling you right now, I am still shocked beyond recognition. And nobody's making a big deal yet out of the fact that Kash Patel and others have still not said anything regarding the murder of Jeffrey Epstein. That's it right there. Everything else is a waste of time. Everything else is a complete and total waste of time. That's my story. But I got some interesting. You see where George Wendt died? Norm. Now let me explain something first of all. Did you see this? They cannot give up ideology. Brian or Tyrone, rather. Tyrone Shoelaces. Tyrone, they don't have an ideology. They don't. You give these people more credit than they don't have an ideology. They don't have an ideology. You understand what's happening? They don't have an ideology. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to say. I don't know what they stand for. Next. That's my thing. Next, I don't have time for this. What am I going to do? Just start thinking about this over and over? I don't know. How much? I got 10 minutes. Okay. There's something which is also important too. I'm going to go back to this George Wendt thing. They probably can't. I think you're right. We have this thing in this country called auto mourn. Forgive the reflection in my glass. I didn't bring my little iPod stem today, which is very interesting. But anyway, I want to bring to your attention again this notion called auto mourn. There's two things I have: auto mourn and autoloot. And autoloot is a very different thing too. Autoloot is a story. Let me see if I can do this. I'll read you auto mourn, but this is a term. This is a neologism of mine. Define auto, L-O-O-T. The psychological phenomenon that occurs when society as we know it breaks down, order is destroyed, and people for some reason or another begin to loot. Or in recent times, whenever there is the slightest provocation at fast foods, including cold food, fries being left out of the Happy Meal, rioting and violence and thuggery take place. 50 words. Remember, with ChatGPT, always tell ChatGPT how many words. This is the discussion. This is auto-loot. Let me see this again. I'm going to change this again. See, sometimes it always... You know what's interesting? Whenever I dictate, which is what I do, it hears me differently. Like, for example, I can't say 30 without it hearing dirty. No matter how many times. I wrote one time 30 words. You know, write this in 30 words. Came out dirty words. Like, what the hell is this about? Autoloot is automatic lawlessness over offended triggers. LOOT. It's a psychological reflex seen primarily in societies with weakened moral fabric, degraded respect for authority, or overindulgence in entitlement culture. It manifests when individuals respond to minor provocations or social tension by instantly resorting to looting, vandalism, or violence. The entitlement syndrome, tribal pack mentality, anomie. I like this, anomie, A-N-O-M-I-E. Anomie, lack of the usual social or ethical victimhood or identity. I had to stop right now, and I will, because I just received a very critical email. I'm going to leave it at this right now. Let me just tell you that you are, without a doubt, the most important things in the world. I'll let you go. I didn't mean to catch you, but you know what? You're always there for me. I thank you for this, my friends. Thank you. And in the meantime, because I just had this weird email that came. In the meantime, I want to say thank you. And listen to me, by the way, on WABC. Listen to the app, 77 WABC or WABCradio.com. Until then, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. Dad.